Okay, hello fellow gamers. Welcome back to yet another Candy Egg stream. What is going on? Now, you probably know the drill already. I'm going to be trying to make sure that the stream is even working while being in the middle of it. And while I'm doing that, Spore cannot be not full screen, so that's wonderful. So I am going to be just checking on the phone occasionally if anyone is watching in comments, but for now we are doing what I like to call a realism challenge. In Sport, we're going to be evolving realistically. Now we have the choice of a few worlds. We have three very tropical looking ones, these two deserty looking ones, and a very earth-like one. Do I feel like being an herbivore or a carnivore? That is the question. You know what? Let's be a carnivore. Let's be a desert adapted carnivore. This is very desert-like. Okay, let's go ahead and go for the cell stage. Be a carnivore. That one's kind of iconic. Okay. Not going on hard this time. I'm too bad at playing the game. Let's see. What is a realistic name we could name this? Those are not the keys that I wanted. So let's go. What's a hilariously iconic? You know what? Yeah. Okay. So hopefully the audio's fine. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the webcam to work, but you know what? Oh well. That is just fine and dandy. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go to YouTube Studio. If you watched the last video, I talked a lot about this intro cutscene. I won't bog it down for everyone a second time, but it is a now outdated and yet still very iconic theory about how life started. It is basically panspermia. Basically everything's origin from space and whatnot, instead of generating naturally. Okay, I'm gonna turn my audio down a little bit. I got the tism ears. Alright, we got our little green goblin. So now that our little green creature is here, I am going to hypothesize that we originally were omnivorous and had ate a lot of these plants, but then we started growing them in our own skin. Isn't that interesting? Oh gee, what is that called? Symbiosis. So we have symbiotic algae inside of our flesh that now we just grow forever instead of having to consume it. Let's go ahead and nom. Now, carnivorous single cells don't actually have jaws like this, as they don't have digestive tracts or anything. They just have like fluidity in their form and have what are called cytostomes, which is basically like cell mouth. I'm gonna avoid that one. And cytostomes, I believe, are immobile, but they can also undergo phagocytosis, wherein a cell absorbs another cell, and that does not have to be through a specified orifice. A lot of cells can create orifices. Isn't that interesting? By producing vacuoles or voids of water in their being. Now, a big part of the challenge is that we're supposed to evolve naturally. Okay, so how are we gonna go about this? Spines are very useful. However, I think That is iconic. Okay, I think that we are just going to make it easier for our cell to not be injured in the valuable parts of its body. Got an interesting pattern. This one does resemble plant. I think this one resembles algae better. So at least for now, I'm going to be going with this. And what am I going to name it? I am going to name it, I'm going to name it plausible. Because you know what? This organism is very plausible. Now, gotta try and keep up the energy. I don't even know if the stream's working, but that's fine. This motion it's making is making me a little bit uncomfortable, but that's also fine. So being carnivorous is very easy in the cell stage. I would say possibly easier than being herbivorous. Because being herbivorous kind of demands the spine. Sippies. So we have a larger, a more powerful carnivore. I think we should specialize in speed and maneuverability. Speed and maneuverability would do us pretty good, I think. So why don't we go ahead and do our thing that cells definitely do. Spore is very odd because they clearly combined a cellular and aquatic stage into this, which is no longer very scientifically anything. There's also concept art of the cells being fish. And also I believe that what is it called? In the tribal stage you can fish, and I believe they are also cells there. Trying to do something real sneaky. Oh yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and move our eyes back a little bit more. Gotta have that wide gaze. That wide gaze to give us some binocular vision and improved depth perception with our significantly lengthened rostrum. Bonk. Bonk. Look at that little creature. I'm gonna bite it in the eyes. And a very fortunate thing about having the carnivore... Okay, bye. A very fortunate part of having the carnivorous mouth parts is that you do not require the spine to get new parts. Isn't that interesting? Speed is favored as well. Okay, I'm still gonna try and Murgle this again. Poison's kind of dangerous though. Sneaky, sneaky. You can probably tell I've played the cell stage a lot. I really wish these were randomly generated. I am very disappointed and always will be that the cell stage is not randomly generated creatures. Well, granted, it's still not randomly generated. It is like you are on a default world, so like there's default creatures, it's not random. But also, like that, some of the creatures in cell stage have parts that you cannot access, which is very strange, I feel. Let me just go swipe this. Oh, gee. Okay, let's go sippies a little bit. I always like to try and get every single part in cell stage. Also, these shells, a lot of people think that they look what are they called? The flat urchins, sand dollars, but they are actually intended to be diatoms. Oh, F. And diatoms are single cells which form a siliceous test. Isn't that interesting? And a lot of beach sand is made of diatoms. Oh? Am I gonna get lucky? Or did I already pick up the fin? I already picked up the fin. Although it says it's a cilia, but that's not what a cilia looks like. Bugsinka. I do really enjoy how the perspective of time is different at different scales. The proboscis is one of the hardest objects to get. Ooh, am I gonna get the poison for free? Yes. I think they realized it was too hard to kill that creature because it was too well designed. Got that one while I was distracted. You know, we're a pretty good at existing creature, but I'm gonna go ahead and evolve again. And by that I mean genetically drift. Isn't that right? Because evolution doesn't pursue a goal or anything. It only... Yes. Evolution doesn't pursue a goal. It only drifts. And what happens, happens, basically. I like that. And I'm also going to go ahead and make our creature a little bit darker, maybe a little yellower green. Just because I like this color better. Yes, that is wonderful. Now we have multiple flagella fused together at the base. And our propulsion is located at the rear of the cell because, as you may notice from a lot of fishes and other swimming organisms, it is most optimal to have your propulsion as far back as possible, and that is why birds like grebes struggle to stand on land, is because they are foot propelled, so it is optimal for their feet to be as far back as possible, but that also means that they're very poor at standing on land. And a lot of people into speculative evolution... Oh yeah, I forgot about these ones. They look like each other as defense. Yeah, I can't handle that. A lot of people into speculative evolution always go back to, what if birds became like whales and whatnot? But a very important thing to keep in mind is that grebes are basically already dolphin birds. They essentially never go on land other than like a nest often made of water plants, so it's not even real land, to lay their eggs. They can't stand properly. And that is because it is very difficult for birds to evolve live birth, because of the way that bird eggs work and how active and fast-growing birds are, is that a lot of reptiles that do give live birth, they can only do that because their egg is very, very thin-shelled to the point where it's like basically not even calcareous. It is just mushy. And what they do is, live birth giving reptiles, like a lot of lizards like mosasaurs and like blue tongue skinks, I think, is that they do have eggs. The egg is just held within the body. My creature is struggling. Perhaps my rostrum isn't as good as I thought it would be. The egg is withheld within the body until it hatches, and then the baby hatches and comes out in like one movement, and then the egg is basically poopiesed out later. And there was like a huge thing in paleontology, because the more I learn about paleontology, the more I realize how many people in paleontology are very cringe and don't actually know about animals. There's this huge thing because there was like a soft-shelled egg shell that was found fossilized, and everyone was freaking out because they were like, do mosasaurs actually lay eggs? Like, yeah? I don't even think there are any lizards that give live birth that don't then release the egg later. It's just very odd to me how people can write entire papers about animals that they just... Like, mosasaurs just are lizards. It's not like dinosaurs where there's a few hoops you have to go through to understand them properly. Like, mosasaurs are just lizards. They aren't very different from other lizards. They're pretty closely related to snakes and ferrets. Optimal. That was wonderful. So, in birds, their eggshells have a lot of calcium because a lot of birds have very large eggshells, and birds, unlike a lot of other dinosaurs, birds... I like that. Unlike a lot of other dinosaurs, birds... I'm losing my train of thought trying to form this creature. That looks pretty cool. Unlike a lot of other dinosaurs, birds sit on their eggs. There's a lot of people confusing, like, birds are very strange dinosaurs. They did a lot of things because birds, depending on how you define a bird, evolved during the Cretaceous. So birds are just a kind of dinosaur that existed the whole time, basically. Birds are very strange. They sit on their eggs, like, actually with physical contact. Whereas things like oviraptorosaurs, their nests are structured so that they aren't actually touching any of the eggs. They're just... okay. They're just covering them with their little wingies. Like, the center of the nest has nothing because that's where the parent sits. Because when you're that large and your egg is that fragile, if it breaks, it's broken. It's not like a snake egg where it really softens up. That was unfortunate. We might need some more protection at the front of our creature, huh? So unlike a lot of reptiles, bird eggs don't soften significantly before the egg hatches, like a lot of lizards and things. Their eggs become, like, completely leathery right before they hatch. I'm doing a cheeky spore tactic. Their eggs become very leathery right before they hatch, and that's, among other things, allows them to absorb more oxygen when the egg is withheld inside the mother. You can't have a bird withhold their egg because their egg... oh no. Because in birds, their eggs don't soften like that. They stay very... avoided. They stay very calcareous. Which is a great word to say, calcareous. I'm trying to keep up this dank commentary while also checking to see if the stream is actually working. Let me head over back to YouTube. Okay, I still can't tell if it's actually streaming or not. That's fine. Poke. But bird eggs don't do that. Bird eggs, as you are probably aware, remain shelled the entire time, hard-shelled the entire time. Birds, because they develop so quickly and have such high metabolisms, they require a ton, frankly, of oxygen. So if the mother bird did hold... oh gosh. Okay, that was interesting. If the mother bird did withhold the egg, there would just not be enough oxygen because the calcareous shell, although it still lets oxygen in, is very porous. That's why you can't put bird eggs underwater. if it stayed inside the mother, it wouldn't get enough oxygen, and the baby would just die from lack of oxygen. And you can't really say, oh, but they would evolve that, because how? It would take bajillions of years with very odd birds in order to get that to happen. If anything, if you are set on this speculative evolution, it probably wouldn't be a penguin. It probably wouldn't be any aquatic birds. It would probably be something like megapodes, which instead of producing a real nest, just bury their eggs and leave. Okay. Because a lot of the benefit from... I'm going to evolve one more time. A lot of the benefit from withholding your eggs and then giving live birth to them is that you don't have to stay anywhere to take care of your young before they are born, and then immediately after they're born, you can just leave. So it would probably be a megapode, I'd say, or similar bird that buries its eggs like that, that would have reason to evolve an egg that requires significantly more oxygen to be able to turn soft, because the earth around the egg is wet enough to not let the egg dry out even if it is soft. And then that could result in the birds eventually evolving to give live birth, and then aquatic ness could evolve later. So if you really want that obligate marine bird, it would probably look like that. It would probably still have feathers. Like, in order to lose feathers would be so many very strange things, because bird feathers are so, in lack of better words, advanced, well, I guess derived, that they are very, 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 very good at holding air, which air is very good at. Real quick, let's just look at this realistic evolution. Aw, yeah. Air is a very good insulator, so if you are a marine organism, you need that insulation. Although birds, like penguins, are very fat creatures, birds in general are not very fat creatures. Okay, I'm just gonna say this became leg. Yeah, let's go like this. So those became legs, isn't that wonderful? Oops. What was I saying? Oh no, I lost my little train of thoughts. Oh no. Let's go ahead and rotate those eyes forward a little bit. And you know what? I think that is pretty good. We can pretend like these are our cilia. I don't like that actually. We just pretend the cilia became a rostrum. Yes. And now I'm going to rotate the eyes forward a little bit. Pog. Champ. Okay, very plausible organism we got here. Oh yeah, feathers are very, very good at insulating air. So there's not really a reason for birds to stop having feathers if they were obligate marine, other than like saving time preening. But if you imagine, birds just are not very similar to mammals. Having that perfect layer of insulation makes it so emperor penguins, which are barely fat, if you look at like seals and things, emperor penguins are barely fat. They are cold water deep diving animals. Like, a lot of people forget, just because they can stand on land doesn't mean that they're not aquatic, in the same way that elephant seals are deep divers. Like, there isn't, like, an extra level of grandeur for... Ooh. Okay, good, that went away. There isn't like an extra level of grandeur for just not being able to go back on land. It just extends their range further from the shore. Well, this is an odd looking creature. I kinda like that. Okay, just real quick, I'm going to ensure that we are actually streaming, because that would be very disappointing if not. It says stop streaming, so I'm going to go back to Spore, doubly checky again. I don't know how I got it to be visible last time. If I go into my other YouTube channel, maybe I'll see the live stream. Oh, yeah, there it is. So that's how I did it before. PogChamp. Oh, it says there's someone else there. Ooh, I see you. So I'm going to try and keep the live chat open. And just see. What is happening to my creature? I am sinking. I am retracted. Actually, to conserve water, I am retracting into my, main body. Actually, what is happening? Is my creature okay? Oh wait, save me. Save me? How did this happen? I've seen many bugs in this game, but this is not one of them. Okay. Hopefully they can save me from this quicksand. Please. 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 Okay, I'm gonna save this time, because last time the game crashed and then it deleted my species, so I went extinct. I'm gonna go to the main menu. And now I'm gonna open it again. Okay. Hopefully this fixed it. Excreting gastrodermical system. Okay, yay, I'm alive. That was a hilarious bug, and I have no idea how that happened. I guess my creature like tried to sit down and then it clipped through because the little body thing was there. Ooh, I have a very lumpy texture now. It's kind of funny. Very corrugated skin. What is this creature? That is a very defenseless looking creature. Now, something very key about playing realistically is that you can't go around extincting every organism. However, this organism is essentially defenseless. Can I do this? Oh no, I've missed. No, can't do it. Escape. Oh no, I forgot the predatory mouth only has one. Okay, something happened. I don't know if that was very big brain, but that sure was something. Oh, I forgot I even had charge. That would have been very smart to use. Oh yeah, look at those T-posing babies. These creatures are pretty defenseless. But I forgot my mouth doesn't like do anything. Sippy, sippy, sippy. Oh yeah, water birds. So if a bird did become obligate marine, it would probably still have feathers and just like spend a lot of time bobbing at the surface. As the structure of cetaceans, tail flukes, and like the structure of marine reptiles like mosasaurs makes it so that they can swim up significantly faster than they can swim down. And having that much air is extremely beneficial because if you are dying, your feathers will just make you go up. So that's epic. You kind of have to fight to go down, but it's significantly better to not drown. So if you did have an obligate marine bird, now it's not very realistic of me to just be killing everything for no reason, but what else am I gonna do? If you did have these very large obligate marine birds, they would probably still have feathers. They would probably look an awful lot like birds. They'd probably look like grebes if they had niches similar to that of dolphins, or mini dolphins, I should say. And they would probably just spend a significant amount of time bobbing at the surface, preening themselves and preening their little buddies to get new air into their feathers. Although this is a lot of speculation, because you may notice that the only true obligate marine archosaurs were the Thalattoseuchians of the Jurassic and into the early Cretaceous. Possibly the whole Cretaceous, I don't remember. But it's very important to remember those are the only true marine archosaurs. So there isn't much to go off of other than those and kind of Spinosaurus possibly. I refuse to talk about Spinosaurus. And then also all of the birds. Like people who talk about a speculative evolution. Nubby foot. I'm taking the nubby foot. People who talk about speculative evolution, especially with birds, obligate marine birds, they don't give enough appreciation or even thought, in my opinion, to, I can't make the beak vertical. That's unfortunate. I guess I'll stick with the insectoid mouth parts, since my creature already had that to begin with. Yes. No. I forgot about those ones. A lot of people just do not give enough appreciation to the grebes. People always go, oh, penguins, because they're flightless and they look like they could turn into whales. Well, they basically are. And just not enough appreciation goes to the grebes, which I guess people just like don't know about grebes. Oh, that's an interesting piece. Now I gotta add Setae to help my creature bite things. This is gonna help my creature to bite things since its eyes are so far back. But yeah, not enough people give enough appreciation for grebes and the other very, very, very aquatic birds just because they don't look the way that they want them to. Now my creature still has hilariously small legs, but that is fine. I'm going to round out the body a little more. And what eyes do we have access to? You know what, my creature is low enough to the ground to have vertical pupils. Vertical pupils only work when you are very low to the ground. Cats, like pet cats, have them just because they are, mammals are interesting. They can get very, very, very low to the ground, and that is why cats have slit pupils. Crocodilians have slit pupils because they are also very low to the ground and spend a lot of time being like inches above the top of the water. But very tall animals do not have slit pupils. So I need to edit these colors. And also to stop ranting about grebes.